Good morning, everyone. My name is Monika and today I would like to present my Australian Professional Standards for Teachers or APST portfolio. This presentation shows how I have learned and developed professionally in my placement in early childhood education settings. It shows how I have used the theoretical information in practice using real classroom experiences. Moving on to the next slide, which is the introduction. This presentation is aimed at showing my teaching competencies based on the evidence that was gathered during placement. The artifacts presented are founded on the direct observations, planning documentations, and reflective practice in my professional experience. These artifacts reveal that how I have knowledge on child development, teaching practices, and assessment practice in early childhood education. Moving on to the next slide, which is the standard one. This slide presents first standard, which is standard one, know student how they learn. Focus area 1.1. This anecdotal observation record shows and demonstrates that my understanding of children's physical, social, and intellectual development and responsive teaching. How I have used this observation records to make the development and responsive teaching. I use one of the student's name here, but I'm not allowed to take the name. I have taken the consent form from the parent so that I can do the observation on that children. And this evidence I use is anecdotal observation record. I have the my mentor teacher's signature here on this observation record as well during my placement. Moving on to the next slide. This slide presents first focus area, which is 1.2. Standard how understand that how students learn. The evidence I use is learning stories. This artifact demonstrates my understanding of children learn through active engagement, relationships, and meaningful experiences. In future practice, I will continue using observations and structured reports. I will plan activities based on the individual needs and linking them to EYLF outcome and NQSS standards. The next slide is the standard 2. This slide deals with the standard 2. Know the content, how to teach it. The focus area is 2.1, content and teaching strategies of teaching area. Evidence I used in here is play-based learning plan. You can see the learning plan I have made in Appendix 7. I used one of the students' name here as well. This learning experience plan demonstrate how I meet the focus area 2.1. The activities I planned incorporate a range of effective teaching strategies, including intentional teaching, modeling, and scaffolding. Moving on to the next slide. This slide covers focus area 2.2, content selection and organization. The evidence I use is mentor teachers report for standard 2. My mentor teachers report indicates that I have a strong understanding of standard 2. She provided feedback, positive feedback on the activities and learning experiences I designed during my placement. And particularly noting my abilities to thoughtfully selecting appropriate content for children in early childhood settings. For example, the safety matters a lot. They should not be using the sharp objects. The content they will be presenting or using would be appropriate to their age. The implementation in my future practice, I will design more structured lesson plans and use varied teaching strategies such as intentional and modeling to develop their milestones. The next slide, which is a standard 3. This slide is dedicated to standard 3, plan for and implement effective teaching. Focus area I use this here is 3.1, which is establish challenging learning goals. The evidence here I use is report on focus children. Here I made a report on one of the focus children that I have chosen during my placement. This evidence demonstrates how I meet focus area 3.1 by establishing challenging and achievable learning goals. During my placement, I created a development summary that tracked on one child's learning progress across three observations I have used here. Moving on to the next slide, which is the slide deals with focus area 3.5. Use effective classroom communication. The evidence I use here is a learning experience plan again, which demonstrate that in this learning experience plan, effective communication by giving children clear and simple instructions about how to participate in the activity. I use the activity like sensory tray. So I use a concise language for like 4 children at a time, a modeling keyword like pour, scoop, splash to guide their engagement. I introduced modeling words including full, empty, pour that support children understand that how you to use these terms. In my future practice, I will continue to enhance my knowledge about how I can set challenging learning goals by using observations. The slide targets standard 4. Create and maintain supportive and safe learning. The focus area I use here is 4.1, support student participation. The evidence I use is sensory trait. This activity was designed during my placement. I created a sensory tray activity using accessible materials such as cones, pins, and peers. This was an intentional learning experience designed to strengthen children's fine motor skills and know about the colors. The book represents the name of the colors and the objects already demonstrating the color like blue, green, and yellow. The next slide is about the focus area 4.4. Maintain student safety. Evidence use is child safety training. This is the certificate of child safety training demonstrates how I meet focus area 4.4 by maintaining student safety throughout my placement. The training strengthened my knowledge of legal responsibilities, reporting procedures, and protective practices. In my future practice, I will continue to strengthen my understanding of child safety by engaging in ongoing professional learning and staying up to date with current legislation, reporting requirements, and organizational policies. The next slide is about Standard 5. Assess, provide feedback, and report on student learning. The focus area I chosen here is 4.1, assess student learning. The evidence I use is learning stories again. This evidence demonstrates how I meet focus area 5.1 by using a range of assessment strategies to monitor and understand children's learning. During my placement, I gathered information through observations, learning stories to identify each children's strength, interest, and area for growth. My assessments provided a clear picture of children's progress. The next slide is dedicated to focus area 5.2 that I have chosen, which is provide feedback to students on their learning. The evidence used is feedback embedded in learning stories. This evidence demonstrates how I meet focus area 5.2, providing clear, timely, and developmentally appropriate feedback to the students. The next slide is about the engage in professional learning. The focus area identify and plan professional learning needs. The evidence I use is weekly reflective practice. The focus area next slide is 6.3, engage with colleagues and improve practice. Evidence I use is team meeting in reflection. The critical reflection in my professional growth that I created this Canva during my placement. The last standard is standard 7, engage in professional learning with the colleagues, parents, and community. The Focus area 7.1, which is meet professional ethics and responsibility. Confidentiality agree form was signed by from the parents during my placement's initial days, so that I can do the observations on their children. The focus area 7.3 engage with parents and carer, the respectful engagement with families. During my placement, I engaged respectfully, professionally with parents and carers by following the service communication procedures and always maintaining confidentiality. The conclusion says that to sum up this portfolio, illustrate that I am compatible with all the APST standards. My practical teaching competencies are identical through the use of real placement evidences I have used. The reference list, the last slide is about the references which I have used in my portfolio. Thank you. If you have any question, please let me know.